The resignation of Joe Kent, director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Who is Joe Kent? Joe Kent is a decorated Army veteran who completed 11 combat deployments to the Middle East and elsewhere. He was confirmed to his post as director of the National Counterterrorism Center last July on a 52-44 vote without Democratic support. As director of the NCTC, Kent led U.S. counterterrorism and counter-narcotics efforts and advised the president directly. His path to the role was unconventional. Kent ran 2 unsuccessful congressional bids in Washington state as a Republican and Trump loyalist. Democrats strongly opposed his confirmation, pointing to his past ties to far-right figures and conspiracy theories, including connections to people affiliated with the Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer. Nevertheless, Republicans praised Kent's counterterrorism qualifications, pointing to his military and intelligence experience. His personal story also runs deep. His wife was killed by an ISIL or ISIS suicide bomber in Syria in 2019. The breaking point: the U.S.-Israel war on Iran. The resignation is the most high-profile from the Trump administration since the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran on February 28. Kent's decision to resign came down to the reasoning behind the strikes on Iran, or what he said was the lack thereof. On the morning of March 17, 2026, Kent became the first and most senior member of President Donald Trump's administration to resign over the war in Iran. The resignation letter. In his resignation letter, Kent wrote, "After much reflection, I have decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." He invoked Trump's own campaign promises, writing that until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. Kent went further, alleging a deliberate deception campaign. Early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pro-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States, and that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie, and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq War. Kent also made it deeply personal, referencing the loss of his wife. As a veteran who deployed to combat 11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. He concluded with a direct appeal to Trump. I pray that you will reflect upon what we are doing in Iran and who we are doing it for. The time for bold action is now. You can reverse course and chart a new path for our nation, or you can allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. You hold the cards. Trump's reaction. Trump dismissed the resignation shortly afterwards, telling reporters, "I always thought he was weak on security, and that he didn't know him well. It's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was." Trump added that if someone in his administration did not believe Iran was a threat, we don't want those people. They're not smart people, or they're not savvy people. Reactions across Washington. The resignation split Washington sharply. Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chairman Mark Warner said, "Joe Kent's record is deeply troubling, and in my view, he never should have been confirmed.
But on this point, he is right. There was no credible evidence of an imminent threat from Iran that would justify rushing the United States into another war of choice in the Middle East. On the other side, House Speaker Mike Johnson pushed back, saying, "I got all the briefings. We all understood there was clearly an imminent threat, that Iran was very close to the enrichment of nuclear capability." Trump allies were scathing. Taylor Budowich, Trump's former deputy White House chief of staff, said, "Joe Kent is a crazed egomaniac who was often at the center of national security leaks. This isn't some principled resignation. He just wanted to make a splash before getting canned." Meanwhile, one White House official said they believed Kent's resignation could lead to a pattern of other administration officials stepping away in protest. The broader context. The change in personnel at one of the nation's top counterterrorism offices comes amid heightened concerns for terrorism following attacks within the past week at a Michigan synagogue and a Virginia university. Tulsi Gabbard, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and FBI Director Kash Patel are scheduled to testify before lawmakers later this week about threats facing the U.S., a hearing that is likely to be dominated by questions about the Iran war. The Trump administration is also bracing for an expected Tucker Carlson interview with Kent, as Carlson has been one of the most vocal right-wing critics of both the war and Israel.